Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Align and Thrive, Live Your Truth. I'm Rosalie Dodonna, founder of The Purifying Place. Today, we're talking about letting people go without bitterness in order to align with your truth. Along this path of alignment, things are shifting and changing, and you're expanding and growing. And, you know, a natural consequence of this is relationships coming to an end, relationships being let go. And this is something that I see often is we sometimes struggle to let go of the relationships that we've outgrown during our healing journey. And we have this attachment and this judgment sometimes of ourselves about what it means for a relationship to end. And this video is really about helping you release those relationships that are no longer in alignment with who you are and who you're becoming, so that you can have the ease and the peace and the joy of knowing that it was for the highest good of everyone involved, including yourself. So let's dig into it. Um, we're going to identify how you know you haven't truly let go, what those signs look like, and then I will guide you through, things that you can do to help you truly let go of those energetic cords that are linking you still to this relationship that you know you're meant to release. Okay, so number one, why letting go is essential. Again, it is part of our evolution. Think of nature too as a natural example. Things grow, um, certain parts or leaves might die off of a tree, they fall away, and then the cycle begins anew. And the same thing happens with us. As we learn, as we grow, as we shift, as we expand our consciousness, sometimes we have these connections that felt so strong, but they no longer resonate with where we're going. And we need to be able to witness this without judgment of ourselves and without judgment of others. It doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean you're better. It doesn't mean you're more successful than they are, or all the judgments and the rationalizations and justifications that go on in our mental mind of why this needed to end. See it through the lens of simply that this relationship has served its purpose. And I even encourage you to celebrate the relationship. Celebrate the journey that you were on with this person. Celebrate the moments that you shared that shifted certain areas of your being in your life. Um, and then willingly let it go, right? Because with letting go, you create new space, your energy frees up, and you allow yourself to expand and grow naturally to welcome in what is trying to come towards you. And so let's move into how to know you're letting go um, with alignment and truly releasing and supporting your expansion, as opposed to letting go with resentment, with bitterness, with energetic cords still attached. So bitterness often comes up when we truly haven't let something go, and we have this resentment that spouts up, maybe a little bit of anger, um, and this is a sign of unprocessed pain or unprocessed needs, or um, things that have something that has not been resolved yet. A place where your emotions have not felt fully seen or felt. Whereas on the other side, alignment feels pure. It feels like a clean slate. It doesn't feel like you're holding on to anything. It feels like an exhale. It simply feels like it just is, right? Um it feels like peace and there's a quietness to it and a calmness to it that allows for space in order for you to move forward into the next step of your path. So when you know, tune into the relationship that you feel you're ready to let go of and you know it's time, tune into what feelings are still there. Have you truly let go in a place of alignment where you're feeling openness, spaciousness, calmness? Or are you still holding on to resentment, bitterness, and still a sense of agitation there when you think of releasing this relationship? Because you might have already released the relationship. You might be in the process of doing it or thinking about it. And still tune in to see where on the spectrum do you lie. Um, because we're going to move into how to know if you've truly let go. And, so sometimes we might be saying we've let go of this relationship, but energetically, we have not. And here are a few signs that you're still energetically entangled with someone. You keep replaying past conversations or situations with this person. Their name still triggers an emotional charge within you. You check in on them either directly or indirectly. Maybe you ask about them through a friend or look on their social media. Um, you feel the need to defend yourself or explain your side of the story to other people when it comes to them. You feel stuck creatively, emotionally, or spiritually since disconnecting with that person. And these are all signs that energetic cords are still present. So you may feel like you've done all the physical things to release this person, to let go of this relationship. But energetically, you are still giving energy to this relationship, which is why you have energetic cords running between the two of you. And again, cords form through repeated emotional exchange and energetic exchange. So it could be just you, it could be them, and it could be both, right? So you're giving, and then when this happens, people try to do the cord cutting, the clearing, and they still wonder why they're still thinking about this person so much and why it's draining them. It's because we also need to take accountability of ourselves and see and recognize, why am I choosing to give my energy to this person that I've said I've released or that I'm going to release? Why am I still choosing to give my energy and outsource my power to this person? So it takes this, a level of awareness and self responsibility and accountability to own up for our part in the equation, because we are not here to validate victim consciousness, right? We are empowered beings. And if there is an energetic cord still running between you and someone you're meant to release, then we need to start looking in at ourselves and asking the question, what is causing this relationship to still play out energetically? Because there's a boundary there that has not been set, and you're not allowing yourself to create that boundary for some reason. And this is your way, your soul's way, and your intuition's way of signaling to you that there's still something that needs to be seen, processed, transmuted, alchemized. And that's the work, right? That's your soul work right there, your inner work that you need to focus on. So, how do you clear those energetic cords? How do you release from alignment and not from bitterness, so that you're still holding on and creating those energetic ties? Number one, feel what was never felt. You have to process the grief, the disappointment, the anger, whatever it was, the heartbreak, um, until the emotions have been processed through your body. Because the energy is still stuck, some might still be stuck somewhere energetically. And until you let it move through your body, you can do breath work. You can, do yoga or whatever it is to process it and let it move through you and release the judgment of what these feelings mean, right? And remember, you're not a failure because the relationship ended. You're not broken because you're alone now. You didn't mess up because it didn't last. The relationship served its purpose. Accept that it's now over and release, right? Witness what comes through, what emotions need to be processed and come through. Accept and then release them. Because the part people allow themselves to witness and they let the emotions come through, but oftentimes where people get stuck is the acceptance part. Well, I don't want this to have happened, and why did this happen? And it shouldn't have happened this way, and maybe I can still make it work. So all this friction with what is, accept what is. Because as soon as you can accept it, it doesn't have an attachment to you anymore. You're not attached to it anymore. You're not picking it up constantly. You can choose to release it. You can let it go, right? Um, so again, a way of doing this is to release the judgment of yourself and the other person of whatever that judgment might be coming up as I should have did more, we could have fixed this, I wasn't doing enough, and instead diffuse the situation by accepting it and observing it with neutrality so that um you're not sparking that um the need to fix, like as if something's broken or wrong. And honor this in this way, you're honoring your truth, you're honoring what has happened, you're honoring the process that the universe is initiating for you to release. And yeah, that's easier said than done sometimes. You can do it. Number two, name the energetic pattern. So, reflect with yourself and ask, what did this relationship represent for me? Was I trying to feel needed? Was I trying to feel validated or feel safe? Was I recreating a pattern to try to heal it? When you can name what was happening in this dynamic with this person, you can reclaim your energy from it and access the point of what needs to be healed. Maybe you've had relationships like this in the past where have romantic relationships with people who are emotionally unavailable, or you have friendships that end up with someone who with another friend who betrays you. So when you can look at the pattern that keeps reoccurring, notice it. And the second step to that is take ownership over why is that reoccurring in your field continuously, right? Because these relationships, especially if it's an energetic pattern, is reflecting back to us something that we still haven't worked through within ourselves. So, for example, I can use an example in my own life. I had a very close friendship, like a sisterhood with someone who ended up distancing themselves from me when I, began my healing journey and started speaking more of my truth and expressing my needs or desires or expectations of how I wanted to be treated, right? And I started having boundaries. And this friendship, this person started distancing themselves from me, started um, not showing up as much, not engaging with me as much. And I picked up on it right away. And my first instinct was then to ask them, like, is anything wrong? What happened? Because mind you, they didn't tell me anything. They just started acting a different way. And this might be happening in your life too, where you're beginning to heal and transform your life and start operating from a new place, from a more soul aligned place, that it no longer vibes with the people that were in your life. So they're gonna start acting differently towards you. They may start acting differently towards you. So this person started doing that, and when I would ask them, "Oh, what's wrong? Is there anything that happened, or what can I do?" They would just always say, "No, nothing's wrong," right? And this kind of happened over the course of many months. And energetically, when I looked at the pattern and when I took ownership over what was happening, there was a lot of like victim mentality, like, oh, they did this and blaming again. But when I could diffuse the situation with neutrality and release judgment of them and myself, I witnessed it for what it was, right? This person was distancing themselves from me. And then when I could take the ownership of what does that mean to me and how is this energetic pattern reoccurring in my life, it came down to what I recognized within me was it was a pattern of abandonment. I would have these relationships with people, um, and then I would feel abandoned after they left for whatever reason. And so when I could truly take ownership over that and recognize this is a pattern that has been happening. What is this pattern trying to tell me? Because it's really a reflection of something inside of me that hasn't been processed or healed or seen. And when I could get to the root of that and recognize where that came from and do the healing and the inner work from where that stemmed from, I could finally truly release that relationship without resentment, without cords, without draining my energy. Because prior to taking ownership, I was telling myself I released this relationship. I wasn't seeing this person anymore. Oh, I was so much better without them. But if I'm honest, and I still felt the emotional charge. I still felt when I would hear their name or see them, I still felt um, the resentment, the bitterness, and still kept replaying all the things that happened, right? So again, signaling to me that there wasn't truly a release and that there was still something there that needed to be shifted and healed. And so when I did get to the root of that by taking full honest ownership over creating this in my field, I could finally look at this from a compassionate place of awareness, not only for them, but for myself, and gain the clarity of what was happening within me to create that. So then I could finally heal, transform, alchemize that within me and have true freedom. Because once I got to that point, I no longer thought about that person. Once I saw them, there was no more emotional charge. My energy wasn't being drained anymore. If anything, I got a boost of energy because I wasn't constantly putting my energy over into that place anymore. And that's a sign, right? That it's truly released now from my field. And I can have the peace and the knowing and the spaciousness and the expansion of knowing that now my field is open to step into new things, to allow new things to come to me. Because I feel like in the spiritual space, a lot of people are talking about, like, some people talk about curses and entities and all these things that really reflect back to victim consciousness. That something is out to get you, that someone is draining your energy, that someone is doing something to you without your power. And I really believe that the opposite to be true, right? Those instances are actually you giving away your own power willingly, whether you realize it or not. And if you're in this kind of situation, I feel like it's really a wake up call for yourself to take full responsibility for why is this playing out? Because if you constantly blame something outside of you, whether it's entities or um, energy vampires or whatever it is, narcissists, all these things, you outsource your power, you give away your energy to those things, and you create more of that in your life. Whereas if you take back your power, you take back your energy and recognize that we are all one. All of this is really just a reflection of something going on within you, and start from that inner point that then transforms not just yourself, but everyone around you, everything around you. And you become this ripple effect of change, of transformation. But you can only do that when you decide to take accountability, full accountability for you. All right, number 4, practice energetic cord clearing. So, again, you can do the process of cord clearing. You can go have someone do it for you. You can do it yourself and, do the guided meditation where you release something and you reclaim your energy, you cut the cords. But again, if you don't do the inner soul work that is required for you to truly release this relationship energetically, the energetic cord clearing will not work because the cords will just simply grow back. You will simply reattach your energetic cords to that person and that relationship. Um, so the last thing is watch for emotional neutrality. This is your sign that you've truly released this relationship, this person from your life, from your energetic field. Because, like in my example, you no longer have the emotional charge. You no longer revisit things that happen with them and the events that happen and playing back what they said and um, the resentment, the bitterness. You just have peace. You have clarity. They just they don't exist anymore in your mind. And that is your sign that it is complete, that you have completed the process of truly pruning away and releasing this relationship that is no longer in alignment with who you are and where you're going and who you're becoming. So I feel like this video needed its own, or this topic needed its own video because it is something that comes up a lot and that people struggle with. Um, and just know, letting go doesn't always mean just cutting off people because we think, oh, I can let go of that person. I'll cut them out of my life. I won't call them. I won't text them. I won't, whatever it is. I'll delete them from my friendship list or friends list on Instagram and unfollow them and whatever it is, all the things. But that is not true. Um, that is not true. Just an attachment and releasing of that person and that relationship unless you've done the inner energetic work that requires that to truly be released from your field. Um, so again, honor this process, clear those cords, release those attachments, um, and have patience with yourself and release judgment of yourself. And it can take some time because, again, if this is an energetic pattern of a type of relationship that's been playing out in your life year after year after year over and over again, it might not just be a one and done thing. That energetic cord cutting ritual that is so popular now really reflects to me the idea of our culture wanting a quick fix, right? Cutting energetic cord cutting rituals, I feel like are a direct reflection of quick fix schemes like wanting to pop a pill and being healed, right? Wanting to do energetic cord cording and thinking we're done. But it's simply not so, right? We have to honor the process of this because it might take days, it might take weeks, it might take years to truly release. And even with that, we uncover new layers of going even deeper into our embodiment and our wisdom And with that might come new things that come up that we need to release again, right? Because more we release what is no longer, what is not truly us, the more we discover and can tap into and move from the place of who we truly are, which is oneness with everything, which is energetic source, which is God, the divine, the universe, all that is, right? So, um, again, I hope this helped you on your path. And remember, just because a relationship is ending doesn't mean you failed in any capacity, and you're not alone. Um, I know with relationships leaving, it might feel like you're being alone, you're being isolated, or you're alone, and just know that you're being redirected, and know that you're never alone, and that new things, new people, new relationships that are more aligned with who you are coming, and they're already on their way. Um, and remember, you're not being excluded from anything. You're on your highest path. This is for your highest good and for the highest good of everyone involved. And really, truly believe and trust in that. Um, so I hope this helps you let go with alignment from your alignment so that you have, the peace and the clarity in your heart, to know that you did it from a true place that honors your authentic self, right? Because when we let go of that old stagnant energy, that's no longer meant for us, the right people, the right opportunities, the soul line connections, um, are allowed to flow in more effortlessly. And, you know, let me see if there's anything else. And know that this is, again, a process, and there are cycles of this throughout our life, just like in nature, right? All the seasons of growing, releasing the old. Um, think of winter as almost feeling like there's isolation because the leaves are bare, or the trees are bare, right? No leaves, but then that makes a space for new things to grow again, for new things to come in. And that's the same thing when we prune these energetic cords of relationships that no longer serve us. So again, I hope this helped you. And if you need any help, I'm here. My name is Rosalie Didana. I'm the founder of the Purifying Place, where I help people align with their soul and remember who they truly are on an authentic soul level, so that you can create the change in your life that you wish to see, whether that's in your relationships, your business, your family life, whatever it might be. I help my clients create that inner transformation that really sets the foundation for success to naturally unfold. So I hope this helped again, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.